Okay, moving forward, here is the picture of a typical recombinant DNA. This is a typical recombinant DNA which has the which has the cloning vector along with our gene. See here, here is the promoter region, or the promoter region which promotes the replication of this particular gene. This green portion is our gene of interest, your gene, which you have incorporated into the, let us say, plasmid vector. And then there should be an ORI, origin of replication, which gives the signal that replication should start from this particular portion. Then an antibiotic resistant gene. This antibiotic resistant gene will also serve as a selectable marker to screen the transformed cells from the non-transformed ones. It is a very important factor, and boards, this is one of the very favorite question, you can say, of the paper setters, that what is the use of antibiotic resistant genes, or how can you screen the transformed cells from the non transformed ones. This concept will be taken in the further portions of this chapter when we will be towards our final steps of the gene cloning. So as for now, you understand that a typical recombinant DNA, a recombinant DNA is the plasmid DNA or the plasmid vector, or any vector which is having our gene of interest also. Clear? So make this picture in your mind that there should be these 4-5 requirements present in the vector. What are these? Again, get back to that particular slide. It should be easily isolated from the host cell. It should be small in size. It must have an ORI. It must have at least one recognition site for restriction enzyme, so that the incorporation of the, so that the restriction enzyme can produce the NICs and we can add the DNA insert. It must have at least one selectable marker. That selectable marker can be can be of double benefit. That means the selectable marker can act as an antibiotic resistant gene also. It helps us to select the host cells containing vector from the whole lot of population of the non-transformed cells. Clear? So this is the picture of a typical recombinant DNA. Moving forward to the types of vector. The first type of vector is the plasmid based vectors. Plasmid based vectors I'll be discussing. Second is virus based vectors. They may be plant virus based, animal virus based, both, or maybe bacterial virus based. So all this will be coming under virus based vectors. And the third will be artificially constructed vectors. See, this type of classification is not given in your book, but I feel that this classification is more good as compared to the others, because here it is more organized. We have plasmid based vectors which are naturally occurring. We have virus based vectors which are again naturally occurring. Then the third category is a broader category and is continuously evolving category, because it is artificially constructed vectors. Some of the examples of artificially constructed vectors can be cosmid vectors, shuttle vectors, expression vector, back is bacterial artificial chromosome, yak yeast artificial chromosome, and hack human artificial chromosome. This is the latest type of vector which is being used is the artificial chromosome. And now we have started the experiment on the human artificial chromosome, and we have created, the biotechnologists have created human artificial chromosome, which can be used as a vector to transfer the human genome, human gene of interest. Okay, so now we shall be taking these types of vectors one by one in the subsequent parts of the presentation for today. Moving forward to the plasmid based vectors. First of all,